The 2019 March Madness season is upon us. I know it may have been hard for most of you guys to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of NCAA basketball while also watching the NBA and the end of the NFL season. Your brackets are due soon, and some of you guys don't have a clue on who to look out for, so I am here to break down some of your favorite men's college basketball teams heading into March Madness. Get your pen and paper and stay tuned for this NCAA March Madness breakdown. Hi, welcome to the Fumble. I'm Britt Johnson. Make sure you click subscribe and join the notification squad if you haven't already to stay up to date on all the latest. It's my favorite time of the year, guys, March Madness. 2 years ago, I came pretty close to a perfect bracket. I picked Gonzaga and UNC going to the national championship and UNC winning, and well, they did, and UNC won. At the end of March Madness, I actually tied for first place with about 300 others from all across the world who also filled out the bracket, so I don't mean to toot my own horn, but beep beep.
Okay.
My bracket and my bracket knowledge is pretty on point. Well, at least my bracket luck is. Last year I wasn't such a hot tamale, but we can't all be great all the time, can we? So while I'm not going to give you many hints on who you should pick, I will be breaking down some teams for you guys to help you pick out the best brackets possible this season. First, let's write down some important dates. Selection Sunday is March 17th. This will be when we figure out just how this bracket is going to be set up. Between then, you have just a few days to get your bracket set up, so basically, you gotta know your shit now. The first four, which nobody really cares about, takes place first, then the first and second rounds start on March 21st and go to the 24th. Then we head to the Sweet 16s and Elite 8, which happen on March 28th to the 31st. The Final Four is on April 6th, with the national championship game taking place on April 8th. Alright, so we have all the important dates locked in. I hope you guys remember those. Now we can get into some teams you should be on the lookout for. Before we get into this, I'm going to tell you guys, by the time you watch this and the time I recorded it, the rankings and things could be slightly different, could be changed a little bit. I'm just letting you guys know in advance. I did not shoot this and then post this the same day. So now that I've said that, let's get started. Let's start with Kansas State, who is ranked 16th in the country. The main reason I'm telling you to look out for this team is because of a guy named Dean Wade. Wade is a 6'10" power forward whose efficiency is literally off the charts. This guy is making 44% of his threes for the second year in a row and is shooting 50.5% from the floor. I mean, Wade has lost some of his mojo from his big junior breakout season, but this man is still averaging 12.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. The team did suffer a big loss to rivals Kansas recently, and because of that, I think they are really going to work any kinks out before heading into March Madness. The team has been in about 30 NCAA tournaments, most recently last season when they made it all the way to the Elite Eight. With Wade leading the way as a seasoned senior, the team should expect to see some success if senior Barry Brown Jr., who originally entered the draft last year, but because he didn't sign an agent, was able to return this season. I think these two guys coming back for some unfinished business is, gonna be dangerous. Next, we have the UNC Tar Heels. Now, I'm not going to try to sway you guys one way or another, but the Tar Heels are my personal favorite college basketball team. I mean, hello, I'm Team Jordan. If the Tar Heels didn't prove they were contenders when they beat Duke, well, then y'all are just some haters. Yes, we all know Zion Williamson was injured. However, we are forgetting that Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett are also two of the top college players in basketball right now. What UNC brings to March Madness is pure consistency. This team plays consistent team basketball game in and game out. They have won 3 huge games against tournament caliber teams and have currently moved up to second in the ACC power ratings, just behind Virginia, which is past Duke. The Tar Heels also have a precious gem named Cam Johnson, who is one of the most versatile college players around. Oh, and did I mention he is a phenomenal shooter? Cam Johnson shoots 47.3% from 3 on 5.5 attempts per game. His performance was a little rocky last season, but this season he has seemed to find his groove because not only is he one of the greatest shooters right now, but he's averaging 5.7 rebounds and 2.3 assists. Cam is a senior and has been here before and also has won a national championship before, and like his teammate Luke May, all of these Tar Heels need to do is get that freshman Nasser Little on board. Little has struggled this season, but if he can get healthy and get some mojo, this guy is projected to be the next Draymond Green, or let me say it, even better than Draymond Green.
No.
Let's head a little west to my least favorite team, Duke. What? I told you guys I was a Tar Heels fan. Duke was the team, hands down, that was set to not only dominate this season, but were also favorites to win the NCAA National Championship. However, on February 20th, the Blue Devils took on my Tar Heels, and within the first minute of the game, Duke's star player and projected first overall pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, Zion Williamson, went down with a grade 1 knee sprain. The injury has been considered day-to-day, and as of Monday, March 4th, Zion was noted as being in phase 4 of the healing process. The NBA hopeful did miss his final home game for the regular season. The big question is, what does this do for the Blue Devils during March Madness? Although Zion is a monster of a player, the initial injury shouldn't have affected the team as much due to the fact that, like I said earlier, they have two other players in RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish that are also predicted to go in the top 4 picks of the 2019 NBA Draft. Zion's injury showed the weakness in this team. The lack of knowledge and of understanding of how to play and truly win games was shown in this moment. Whether Zion suits up for the Blue Devils for March Madness no longer really matters in the success of the team during the tournament. Yes, with Zion, they will make it further than without him, but this flaw in the fact that they are all freshmen will be the reason they don't win the entire thing. Zion, hands down, will not be playing balls to the wall with everything on the line. I mean, the man shook. He's afraid that he's going to get re-injured before the draft. So Zion and Cam and RJ, what you saw of them during this season, well, bye-bye. You're not seeing that during March Madness at all. None of these players are going to risk their opportunity to play at an elite level in the NBA. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm not saying these guys aren't ready for the league, but they are clearly needing an older leader to help down the stretch, and well, they don't have that. So will they have great games during the tournament? Yes, they will. Will they win it all even if Zion plays? No, they will not. Let's move on to a team that will have their leaders and veteran players to be the difference makers in the tournament. You guys know who I'm talking about. The WCC just had their awards ceremony, and Gonzaga swept the entire thing, winning Player of the Year, winning Coach of the Year, winning Defensive Player of the Year, and winning Newcomer of the Year. 4 of their players were also named to the WCC men's first team roster, not one of them a freshman player. But forget the conference, the Bulldogs are literally just that good. The team has made it to the Sweet 16 every year the last 4 years, and the national championship game in 2017, where, of course, they lost to my Tar Heels. Several of those players, including Rui Hachimura, are still on the team. Rui is one of the top prospects going into the NBA draft this season. Not only does he have the size and the talent, but he also has the experience to help lead this team to the very end of the season. Gonzaga also has a guy You might know him. His name is Brandon Clark, who is projected to go in the top 10 of the NBA draft if he decides to declare. Brandon Clark is a pure beast on defense, one of the best I've seen. This guy is one of the top shot blockers, averaging 4.5 shot blocks per 40 minutes. Like I always say, offense sells tickets, but defense wins games. The Bulldogs have a 20-game win streak going on and are ranked the #1 team in the NCAA, and with good reason. This team is a favorite to win the title this season. Lastly, we have a team that seems to have lost their mojo as of late. Maryland got hit with a losing streak, and in college basketball, that's a big no-no. Every game matters. This season, Maryland actually celebrated 100 years of basketball at the university and are hoping to celebrate a little more during March Madness. Former Maryland guard Gravis Vasquez, who won ACC Player of the Year all the way back in 2010, knows a thing or two about good college basketball players. He recently said this about Maryland standout Bruno Fernando. "I like Bruno. Bruno reminds me of me a lot in those days when I used to refuse to lose and do whatever it takes to win. As long as those kids understand that these college days go by so fast, and whether you make it to the pros or whatever you do next, it's going to be extremely tough. So, if they don't take care of right now, if they don't understand the time is now, then they're going to struggle." Bruno averaged 14.1 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2 assists this season. His end-of-the-season struggles definitely hurt the team down the stretch this season and most likely cost him a first-round selection in the NBA draft, which will definitely mean this sophomore will return to Maryland for another season of basketball. I personally don't see this team going super far in March Madness this season because of how they ended the season, but if you want to get your brackets for next year started early, I'm helping you guys ahead of time now, this team will definitely be a contender. High school stars Donta Scott, twins Makai Mitchell and Mikal Mitchell, and Marcus Dockery have all been invited to participate in the nation's classic All-Star event next month, and lucky for Maryland, all of these ballers have signed up to join the roster for the team next season. With Bruno, who I said will return next season, leading the way with some March Madness experience that he's gaining this year under his belt, let's just say Maryland will be a surprise contender. All right, guys, I am done telling you guys all the juice I have to tell you for March Madness. That is going to do it for my breakdown of your favorite March Madness contenders, as well as some underdogs. It's time for you guys to head to the comment section now and share some of your knowledge on teams I didn't mention. Make sure you like this video, click subscribe, and shop the Fumble store for the latest game day gear. I'm your host, Britt Johnson for the Fumble. Make sure you follow me on all social media, and I will see you guys very soon.